Hello everyone. So in this lecture we will be discussing about the total number of paths in a matrix. So what does this question ask us? This question says that you are given a matrix with some rows and columns, and from each cell in the matrix you can either traverse right or down. So find how many paths can you take to reach bottom right from top left. So again, the top left is 0 0, the bottom right would be the last cell within the matrix, and we have some directional constraints of right and down. So suppose if we are given an example over here, we have a matrix of 2 rows and 3 columns. So we need to devise a function that returns us 3. And what does this 3 signify? This 3 signifies that the total number of paths to travel from top left to bottom right are 3. So if we just need to elaborate all the paths over here, then what we can see that we can travel from either 0 0 to 0 1, then 0 1 to 0 2, then from 0 2 to 1 2, or we can travel from 0 0 to 0 1, from 0 1 to 1 1, and then 1 1 to 1 2, or we can travel from 0 0 to 1 0, then 1 1 from 1 0, and then 1 2 from 1 1. Hence these are the three paths which would be the total number of paths which we can travel from top left to bottom right. So I highly recommend to pause the video over here and first give it a try. Then we would be starting with our discussion on the problem. So if you want to pause the video, just pause it over here because I am starting with the problem now. So what do we see over here? Again, we have some base cases and we have a recurrence relation. So instead of just going on that why are we returning all these things over here and what about this recurrence relation, it's better to go on to the recursive tree and just see what's all happening over there. So if we see this recursive tree, what do we have here? This is the function which would be actually returning the total number of paths from source to destination, and in our case source is the 0 0 and destination is 2 2 over here. This array is actually the pointer or reference to this array, but we wouldn't be needing this actually because we do not need any of the contents within the matrix itself. We just need to know that what is the size of the matrix, and that we can explicitly give with the help of x index and y index. So what we would be doing is that this numpath 2 2, what does this 2 2 signify? This 2 2 signifies the destination to which we want to go, or destination in the matrix. This would be the last cell. So suppose if we have a matrix of 3 by 3 in this case, so the destination would be 2 comma 2. If we have a matrix of 4 by 4, then the destination would be 3 comma 3. So this is the way which we would be doing it. So instead of sending directly the number of rows and number of columns, we would be decrementing one from both of them, and then we would be sending. Why would we be decrementing one? So that we can know that what is my row index and column index of my destination cell. So how do we approach our problem? So again, we will be branching out, but what we will be branching out for? We will see it in this recursive tree or in the part of the whole recursive tree, because this is just a part. We need to again branch out for each and every subproblem, but due to my space constraint I couldn't do it, but I highly recommend you to just branch out for each and every subproblem and see all the overlapping subproblems. It would be better for you to even understand the optimal substructure of this problem. So this is numpath 2 2. So what does this 1 2 signify? Look, we have two directional constraints that I can reach 2 2 either from a node. If I come down from that node, then I can reach 2 2, or from a node, if I go right to that node, I can reach 2 2. So what is the node in the current matrix that if I come down, then I will reach 2 2? Can I say it would be 1 2? So if you are currently sitting at 1 2 and you just go down, so will you reach 2 2? Yes. So my first branch would be that thing, the element in the matrix or the cell in the matrix, that if from that cell I just come down one, then I will reach the intended cell. And what about this 2 1? What does this 2 1 specify? This 2 1 specifies that if you just go right from this cell, then you will reach 2 2. Hence this 2 1 signifies that. And what does this whole subproblem signify? The whole subproblem signifies that just tell me what are the number of paths from source to reach this 1 comma 2. The same way, what does this subproblem signify? This subproblem signifies that just tell me what are the number of paths to reach 2 comma 1 from the source, and then I would be adding it. Look, what is this 1 comma 2? If I just calculate the total number of paths to reach 1 comma 2 from 0 0, and I calculate the total number of paths to reach 2 comma 1 from 0 0, if I add it, so what would it be? It would just give me the answer to all the number of paths so that I can reach 2 2, because I can reach 2 2 from coming down from 1 2 and coming right from 2 1, and hence if I just know the total number of paths with which I can reach 1 2 and 2 1 from source, I would be just adding it, and that would be my answer to 2 2. That's what I have done over here. I have made an addition to total number of paths. Now what would I be branching out in the case of 1 2, num path 1 2? Again, I would be looking for a cell in the matrix from which if I come down I will reach 1 2, and in the other branch if I come right then I can reach 1 2. So what would be the cell I would be recursing for? The first cell I would be recursing for is 0 2, because if I come down from 0 2 then I can reach 1 2. And in other branch what would I be doing? If I come right from 1 1 then I would be reaching 1 2. So what does this subproblem signify? This subproblem signifies, look, that I can reach 1 2 from 0 2. Now just tell me the total number of paths from source which I have to reach 0 2. And what does this problem signify? This subproblem signify that okay, I can reach 1 2 from 1 1, but just tell me what are the total number of paths that I can reach 1 1 from source. So if I just branch out for this 0 2, then what would I be doing? Again, I would be branching out 1 in the case of down 1 and 1 in the case of right. So in the case of down, what would I be doing? I would be having a cell which would be above this element, but do I have any row above this element? No, I do not have it, and hence it will call for numpath minus 1 2, and this would be my first base case. What does this 0 signify? This 0 signifies that look, there is no path for this cell from source, and hence I cannot reach 0 2 from source over here. Again, what does this 0 signify? This 0 signifies that to reach minus 1 2, there is not even a single path from source. So if I cannot reach minus 1 2 from source, so I cannot reach 0 2 from source again via minus 1 2. Again, if you want to understand, just rewind a bit and just listen to me what I said. And what about this 0 1? This 0 1 is the cell that if I go right from this cell, one right from this cell, then I can reach 0 2. So what does this subproblem signify? This subproblem signifies, just tell me what are the total number of paths that I can take from source 0 0 to reach this cell. So what would I be doing? Again, I would be branching out. And what would I be branching out for? I will be branching out for two cells, one where I can reach 0 1 via right, and one from I can reach 0 1 via down. So what is the cell that if currently I am sitting on, if I come down from that cell I can reach 0 1, it would be minus 1 1. If you are currently sitting at minus 1 1 and you come down one cell, then you will reach 0 1. But do I even have this cell in my matrix? No. So again I will hit the same base case and I will be returning 0 over here. And what does this 0 signify again? This 0 signifies that there is no such path from source to minus 1 1. And if I do not have such a path from source to minus 1 1, so how can I even have a path from 0 0 to 0 1 via this cell minus 1 1? Again, what does this 0 signifies? This 0 signifies there not even a single path from 0 0 or source to minus 1 1. So if there is no such path to minus 1 1 from source, so can I even have a path via minus 1 1 to 0 1? No, I do not have it, and hence this 0 signifies that thing. And what does this numpy 0 0 mean? This numpy 0 0 means that I have reached my source index now, so I will be returning 1 over here. And what does this one signifies? This one signifies that yes, I do have a path from 0 0 to 0 0, and hence I will be returning 1 over here. And if I add these both, so what would be my answer to num path 0 1? It would be 1 again, because 1 plus 0 is 1. And what does that one signify for 0 1? That one signifies that I have a path of 1, or the total number of paths to reach 0 1 from 0 0 is 1. That one signifies this thing. So we do see in the same manner we can just branch out for each and every cell and just check what are the number of paths we can have from source to 2 2. And again, now coming on to this recursive tree, what are these recursive calls actually? Look, each and every path from root to leaf node is actually a path in the matrix. Look, what is this 0 0? From this 0 0, how I came over here? I came from 0 1, and I came 0 1 from 0 2, and from 0 2 to 1 2, and from 1 2 to 2 2. So can you see 0 0 0 1 0 2 1 2 2 2 0 0 0 1 0 2 1 2 2 2? So this one path from root node to leaf node actually gives us a one path from source to destination in the matrix itself. So what do we see over here? Now suppose if we are again returning one over here, so it means again we would have got a path. And what is this path? This path is 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, then 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 2 2. So this path in my recursive tree, what is this path? If I just take or map it onto the matrix, it is this path 0 0 0 1 1 1 2 1 2 2. I am talking about this path. So can you see each and every path from my root to leaf node is actually a path in the matrix itself. So the number of leaf nodes which would be returning 1 to me are actually the total number of paths that I would be having. Now coming on to the how to optimize this with the help of dynamic programming, what can we see over here? We surely see it has overlapping subproblems. And what are those? They are numpath 1 1 numpath 1 1. And if I just branch out in this case as well, so I would be seeing a whole lot of new overlapping subproblems again. So we see that it has a overlapping subproblem. It has a property of overlapping subproblem. So one property of solving it or optimizing it with the help of dynamic programming, we have achieved it. Now what is the other property which we need to achieve? And that would be our optimal substructure. So can this recursive tree show that whether do we have an optimal substructure or not? Yes, we do have it. Why? Because with the help of all these subproblems and with the help of all the base cases, we can devise a solution to our main intended problem. Now this is my base cases. These are my base cases. With the help of all these base cases, we came out with a solution to these subproblems, and with the help of all these subproblems, we again had a solution to these subproblems. And by amalgamating all the solutions of these subproblems, we had a solution to our intended problem. And hence we see it has an optimal substructure as well. So both the properties of overlapping subproblems and optimal substructure are fulfilled by this recursive algorithm. So what can we do over here? We can surely optimize this algorithm with the help of dynamic programming. So in the next lecture, we would be seeing that how do we actually approach this problem with the help of dynamic programming and how do we optimize it. So till then, thank you.